All right, and welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Thursday, January 18th, 2024. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Again, don't forget that promotional offer is good for another 2 weeks to get into the live day trading room, 60% off for your first month. Now 19 trades closed out, 17 winners. So pretty good start to the year. I'm loving the price action here, and I'm loving the levels really working. I'm so glad we're out of that December holiday period where everything was so wishy-washy. But in any case, let's get into the charts here today. So it's like yesterday never happened, right? So spiders here up 73 basis points here, about 0.75%. Triple Qs, again, big winner on the day. So 1.4. And again, you know, the story of the year last year was the Mag 7, and that continues to be the case so far into January, although I think that will be, possibly leaving kind of soon. But right now, that is the case here, and we're seeing the markets act well. What was the catalyst for the turnaround? If you take a look at TSM here, reporting earnings, and they actually guided up quite a bit. I think they adjusted their revenue expectations by about 20% for this year. So, looks pretty good for them. We also had a little bit of relief out of China. That's been kind of a story lately. FXI here getting a bid, and you can see, KWeb, well, it's down, but it's up off the lows here. So again, a little bit of relief here of selling in the Asian markets, and again, that did push the futures up. We also had jobless claims this morning. That was a really strong number. The market actually came in a little bit, but now we've stabilized here. And again, we don't want to be too bullish or bearish one way during an Opex week, and you're seeing that kind of whipsaw, and that's something I've been very, stressing very much in the trading room. Look, we gapped up this morning. We ran up here in the market. I mean, triple Qs here basically went right into double top, and we had to pull back. If you can take a look here on the hourly, we pretty much gapped. It was like a gap and go right into that area. You're going to get a good reaction. They're going to get some whipsaw going. They're going to get some stops run, traps. This was a trap for sure. Did add to my ES position into this, and we were able to unload it for a nice gain intraday, and we're now kind of just floating back up as we get into the final hour here. So I'm doing the video a little on the early side, as we'll be doing the live stream with members after the bell. But in any case, markets are rallying here, and that's the bottom line. Triple Qs, again, we talked about this level, this possible trend line could get tagged. Maybe they even tag it tomorrow, right? It's not that far away at this point. We're at 413. That is a new all-time high there for the triple Qs, 413.19. And what is this at 415 and change, 416? So, what's $3 or so on the triple Qs these days? We basically, we're up we're up 5.7 today. So another $3, not that far away. Is that enough? The big question everybody wants to know, is that enough to get us to that 4,800? Is that enough to get us to 4818? Maybe 4825, somewhere in that area, but that would be an all-time high, obviously, for the SPX. And, they tried to do it back in December. We just got too overbought, too stretched, too exhausted. And we had that pullback into the first week and just kind of chopping around. So there is room for that to take place still. I think it's going to have to start coming from other sectors soon, but right now the market's acting well, and we'll leave it at that. Again, we have Opex tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. on SPX, and then everything else single stock at 4 p.m. So we'll be a little bit neutral here. Again, there's a lot of gamma at 47.50. Keep that on the radar for tomorrow. They can fade this whole rally tomorrow. It's not like they can't do that. It would not be hard. Just like I said yesterday, there's nothing really wrong with yesterday's price action. They can rally us up today, and we're doing that here. So again, we'll see what kind of price action we get tomorrow. But if we're down, look for 47.50. That's probably going to be where it closes. If if we're down and we're not continuing up. Anyways, the Qs we already talked about. Again, we'll give the upside bias to this trend line here. On the downside, you got to get below this and start doing chart damage if you're bears. But there's a lot of work to do there, and we're not even close to that right now. I will say, some stocks are looking really lofty, specifically Mag 7, but we've talked about NVIDIA here. And it's not so much on the daily. I know a lot of people look at the daily and the weekly and say, oh, you flagged here. But to me, it's the monthly. Again, never really let that 20 MA catch up to price, and now we're getting stretched again. So that makes me a little cautious. Another one that this got upgraded, guys, 3 times this week. And take a look at the volume here. A lot of distribution, it looks like, intraday, so definitely some profit taking. I'd be careful with some of these high flyers. By the way, you see that white trend line there. That is double top. So it is into a double top here. We'll see where it closes tomorrow. But some of these high flyers just getting a little overdone and stretched. I'd like to see the rally move to literally any other sector at this point. But again, we'll respect the markets while, unless they give us a sell signal. IWM here up 53 cents on the day. So that did come off the lows. Did kind of fade during the middle of the session, and then nice little bid there around the lunch hour. And again, basically bottom line, you're holding the 50 MA. Next area is 193.50, and then through that 197 and change. The Dow via the diamond here, again, pushing higher. So up about $1.50. Again, this pattern's getting a little bit better here, but it still looks very top heavy to me, and I don't think it's done enough to move higher. I think if it tries to break out, it probably won't last very long. But again, it's holding up. We'll leave it there. Semiconductors, new all-time high. Up 3%. Little doji, possible hanging man with volume. So again, this is kind of what I mean when I say just be careful with some of these high flyers. These can often lead to sell signals. When you get a big doji, specifically a hammer candle at a high after a gap up on volume, can indicate some distribution again. So that's that volume right there, those red bars, that's not retail. So pretty heavy there. You're looking at 600,000 shares. So pretty good share size. Just be aware of that. Doesn't mean that it has to crash or anything, but again, they're getting a little high on the hog. The stocks here, again, got up to the level. So we said right here, up move, bullish inside bar, and then a nice pop, right? So we got through the gap, 4,200, and that's where we're stalling out. Again, I talked about 43 a few weeks ago. Again, maybe that's a price target if it does want to continue higher. But again, it does still have that same look, although I wouldn't classify this as a hanging man on the stocks, mainly because for me, hanging man's got to be like at the high, right? It doesn't have to be at an all-time high, but it's got to be at a recent or, the most highest point in recent memory, like, at least a year or at least 6 months, something like that. Whereas the SOX does not have that, but the SMH does. Remember, SMH is calculated a little bit differently, has a lot more of NVIDIA in it and a lot more weight in those really, really high flyer names. But obviously TSM, helping the whole sector out today. IGV was all over the map intraday, but again, just kind of hammering on this 410 handle. So again, I still, think it's a little overdone on the weekly, but it has been. You could make a case that really the last, even since like late November, you can make a case that this is kind of weekly consolidation. I would prefer like a lower low at some point, just to like have it, like get it out of the way, or at least maybe a little bit more chop here. But you can make a case that it's doing that, and it's working that condition off, or working through that, chewing through that supply. But if we do push up, next level is going to be right up around 435, 440, and then obviously the double top there at 450 if this does continue higher. Dow Transports needed a bid today, and they got one. So nice move there for the DJT up 1.6. We talked about the 50 MA. Been telling you guys 15.2 is good support. I said, don't worry about this breakdown. It's not the end of the world. You got a lot right here. So this is a big, wide range power bar with a big tail on it. It's an impulsive candle. And when that gets tested, you're likely going to see buyers show back up. Even if we get below that again, you've got another one right here, right? So a big wide range breakout bar, whole round number 15K, 200 MA, 100 DMA, then above that, where we got to the 50 DMA. So nice bid, right? Close above that gap down bar. It's positive. If you really want to squeeze this up, it's got to get above 15.7. If you can get above 15.7, then this can go, significantly higher here. But in the short run, nice bid there today. We do have, I think, JB Hunt after the close. So, that'll move to the trucking names perhaps. But, nice move there for the transports. A lot of news here. Everybody's looking at Spirit Airlines. Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone right now. Nice tail candle there on the daily. But, this thing's just gotten roasted. And the JetBlue shareholders honestly got a break. So anyway, let's get over here to interest rates. So right now, the 2-year and, really the whole curve is actually still acting well. 2-year, a little bit of a pause candle, inside hammer, no problems there. that hits support, and it's getting defended here. If this inches up, it's going back to 4.6. 5-year, again, never quite got down to my level, but it is starting to inch back. Slight higher low. If you get above 410, the next big level is around 425. 10-year, you guys know I think this is bottomed, and but we are into the 50 MA, so this will be a little bit of a level here. We might have to pull back a little bit. Then you got the red bar high at 420, and then this pivot at 430. That also coincides with that previous multi-decade high at 435. So those are the levels there on the 10-year. And then you could even say like, oh, we could back test this trend line. Look at how that trend line intersects, right? So right in that area, I would say that's a pretty good nexus there for the 10-year. The 30-year, which is the one I like the best right now, and I do own some TBT. And you can see here we are already like basically through that trend line, through the 50 MA, but we do have this little pivot here at 4.38, we'll call it. And then above that, there's your previous high from the summer, or actually winter of 2022, rather, right around 440. So those are the levels I'm watching there. And then if you overshoot, 4.5 at the 20 MA there. And then after that, it's really up to 4.75, 4.8. Why is the market not responding? Again, there's a lot of premium expiring here. That explains, almost all of it. But I think the market will kind of come to reality here if yields are still holding up and we don't have like $1 trillion in options premium expiring in the next 24 hours. But we'll get to that when we get there, and we'll see if the market tells us to do something, we will. Anyway, XHB here up 1.1. Again, pattern-wise, that's still fine. On the weekly, you still are consolidating, but it needs to do more of it. But again, it's holding up okay. And we'll leave it there for now. VNQ, again, testing the 50 MA. We'll see if that can hold tomorrow. You got a support here, green bar low, breakout area, 50 MA. So that should hold at least on the first try or two. Then after that, your big level is down here around 79.80. That would actually probably be a buy level, honestly. But right now, just pulling back into the 50. XLF on the weaker side today, down a penny. So nothing terrible here. But definitely not participating as much in the rally. It was actually down much more earlier today. You can see it actually breached yesterday's low, but it is starting to. It looks like it should get positive here by the end of the day. It's about to be right now. But either way, a little bit on the softer side. I'm not sure what this wants to do. It does still look kind of top heavy to me, but you got the gap here in the short run at 37.60. If this has another thrust again, 38.25, it's still on the table. It's not. That's not out of the question yet, but it is starting to look a little top heavy there. KRE here up 28 cents again. That can still get to 55, 56, but I think it's kind of running out of time. But right now, we're hitting that 50 MA, and we're getting a bid. That's what it should do when you hit those levels. KBE, same thing. Gap down yesterday and then following through to the upside today. XBD here holding that inside tail. Again, 520, 510, and 500 are your levels to watch. Outside of that, it's just a lot of chop and a pullback after a parabolic move. All right, so oil here is interesting. So technically, this is a breakout, right? But it doesn't look like one, right? So not really a robust move. But you are above the trend line. You are into the 50 MA. You are still below 75. I'm still neutral on it. Now, if we confirm with a secondary close, a secondary green close tomorrow, and say we close above the 50 MA, I'm probably going to say that this is likely on breakout. But this 75 handle has been stubborn, right? As soon as we got below that, it was basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. It's pushed this down. Now, you do have higher lows, so you can make a case here. You're building a little bit more, building a little momentum. But right now, crude technically to the letter of the law, it's above that trend line, and we'll respect it here. I just don't think the price action's all that great. Like, it doesn't look like, it's no impulse, not a lot of volume either. I mean, there's an uptick, but it's not like right here, right, where that's an impulsive move, right? I want to see something like that, and we're not seeing that yet. But again, I'm still kind of giving crude the upside bias as much as I think yields are still going to continue to uptick here. XLE. Down 15 cents. It got down to 79. Nice little tail candle there. So that could be putting in some type of low, or at least trying to carve one out. You're going to see it went right into this area. And this is why I've been saying 78, 79. So First of all, you go onto the weekly, failed inside bar. So there's buyers there, but you came up here. That's where you rallied back, and there's your wide range candle. That's why I've been saying that area. The only thing I don't like about it is you have a bearish inside bar here on the weekly. That means you've consolidated above price, so it's a little tricky here. Makes it a little lower percentage, but it's getting a reaction. We'll leave it there for now. XOP getting a reaction as well. I still think 125 is a little bit better for this, but again, it's holding up, and again, we'll leave it there. I'm not doing anything with it. The one that I like is the one that doesn't want to give me an entry, which is OIH. I've been waiting for this for 3 months, but that's probably what I get for going on here and talking about it every single day at that 280 level. But, it's getting a bid here, 286.17 right now. And I think that if this doesn't come back down, this is putting in a pretty significant and tradable low here for oil services. CCJ here down 20 cents. Let's not make a ton out of that. That just got way overbought. But again, trend is still up, and I don't really see any issues there. We filled the gap. This can easily just consolidate and continue higher. URNM still holding up really well, and that is still on breakout. Nat gas pulling back here, continuing to pull back rather, testing the 200. It's another bit of a level here around 260. So that was your breakout right there. Up move, we pulled back. So it looks like that should get tested here in the next couple of days. But again, a lot of chop here after a big 50% move. And, that's kind of to be expected. So you're going to have a big down move when you have a big up move, and your moves are going to be proportionate generally to what the size of the move is. But nat gas pulling back. Dollar index here just continuing to remain firm. Again, market doesn't care right now, but you're into the 200 and it's stalling out here. Again, if this consolidates the move, it can go to 104 and then 104.35. That's really all I've got penciled in for the DXY right now. If you get through that at some point, your bigger levels are going to be at 105, 106, but right now we're just looking for 104 to 104.35. All right, so gold here getting a small bounce, up 81 basis points, even with the dollar higher. Again, a lot of this I think is Opex related, but again, it's pulling in. Again, you guys know, I'm going to say it over and over again. You got the support here at 1980, 200 and 100 moving average, and then below that 1950, 1960 with that trend line. Silver actually trying to hang on here. We did close below that green, so that is a negative yesterday. But we'll see. It does look a little short term tired here, so this may get a rebound to, we'll just say 2350. When I'm watching this for pattern here, I still think it needs to go test 22 and maybe even 2150, but silver getting a bounce today. Platinum finally getting a bounce today. So we've been talking about this area, pretty good level, and it's holding for now. Good outside candle. Would like to see follow through up to 960, and then maybe a pullback, and then it can go higher. Palladium finally defending that double bottom. Again, usually we look for a pierce. We got that, and it is upticking now today, up to 0.3%. Copper here was weaker earlier, finishing higher, and that's up 0.5% here. So we'll see if that can carve out a little bit of a bottom, and it is defending that reversal. So 1, 2, 3 down, big outside candle, or not really outside candle, but big wide range candle, and that low is getting defended here. If that breaks, I think it's down to 360, 365. All right, so Bitcoin here, not doing a whole lot, but it is coming back in. So again, this pattern here is bearish and sidebar, and it is starting to play out to the downside. So be aware of that. Your big level is at 38 on the daily. On the weekly, the big level is 40,000. So it's actually 39,983, but just say 40,000. If we close below that, then Bitcoin is in correction mode. Right now, it's sideways. It's inside of this green. It can go sideways. This moving average can catch up to price, and it can go higher. But definitely seeing some weakness, definitely a change of character, right? And what else do we have here, right? Since September 11th, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher high, higher high, higher high. We don't even have a lower high. Like, it's all just higher highs and higher lows. And finally here, we've got what? Lower low. So boom, outside move. We took out these pivots. So a little bit of chart damage here. It is very tired. It's been running since 25K, and it hasn't even had like a lower high outside of this little, minor lower high here. It's just been all higher highs and higher lows. We had a rising wedge here a few weeks ago, and it just broke bold. And so this has not taken a break in a long time. So it's overdue here. You got the 100 MA right down there at 38, coinciding with this area. So it could bounce there. It could slice that weekly level, and then close back above it, on the daily. Or excuse me, you could close below on the daily, and then by the end of the week, you could bounce and close back above it. But those are your levels there. So 38, and then by the end of the week, that green bar low, which is at 39, I'd like to see it stay above that. All right, so markets here, let's just take a look at the spiders again. So yeah, we're squeezing up here, so nice move there. Let's take a look at the SPX. So 47.80 is your next level. After that, 47.90. I'll just throw these on here. These are levels I'm watching every day. So actually, we can go to the hourly. There you go. So 47.90 right there. Let me just put it a little bit lower. And then 4,800. So we've never been able to, everybody's talking about 4,800, but 47.90 is the level we haven't been able to get above, right? We got there and then we couldn't. We got above it, we couldn't. So we got to sustain above 47.90 to even get to 4,800 and make an actual run at it. But market's getting a squeeze up here. Some minor pivots here at 47.80. So watch those. We might have to pull back there into the end of the day, but nice little pop there for the markets. We'll see what we get. Tomorrow is Opex. Definitely don't rule anything out or take anything for granted. Directional betting is going to be very tough. They could easily take this thing right back down to 47.50 tomorrow if they want to. So be aware of that. But again, markets are holding up. And at some point here soon, I think we do break out of this range. But right now, markets are inside of that. And we'll have to see what we get by tomorrow's close. Anyways, guys, going to wrap up here. You guys take care. Come find me on CarnivoreTrades.com. I'll talk to you guys all tomorrow.